Sterling will be 7-0. You gotta keep the pressure on because you know what? I can pressure you up all night. Huge connection by the left.
And welcome to UFC on Sky. Koravinda Hunia Toku Ingoa. This week has been full of breaking news and UFC fight announcements, and New Zealand has been front row centre to it all. Fourth ranked flyweight Kai Kara France finally getting the announcement he has long been waiting for, that he will fight for the title at International Fight Week at UFC 317 against current champion Alessandro Pantoja. Exciting stuff. Stay tuned. We have a corridor with Kai later on in the show, because first we must acknowledge the history made at UFC 315 at the weekend. Perth's own Jack Della Maddalena making history, becoming the UFC Welterweight champion. Now, he's still over in the States celebrating this momentous occasion, but in the meantime, his next opponent has already been determined. Dana White announcing that Islam Makhachev will be vacating the lightweight title to move to welterweight to meet Jack. I caught up with him, and here were his immediate thoughts. Congratulations on the win. So very proud. I know we're here in New Zealand, but I kind of feel like there's a joint celebration going on here between the two nations.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's an absolute dream. Yeah, to be joined amongst the other Anzac UFC champions is pretty surreal to be next to those guys.
It is indeed. I was listening to another interview. I think it might have been Hawani talking about, have there ever been two Australian champions at the same time? And Robert and Volk were just 2 months apart, not being champions at the same time. So this is the first time that there's two simultaneous Australian champions, which makes that extra special.
Yeah, for sure. It is special. Really, it was awesome to see Volk get that belt back, especially with everyone counting him out. And then, yeah, I was just really excited to bring another one home.
How much did that help with you? I know that there's a lot of talk about, your preparation and working alongside Volk and all of that. How did that even come about for that to be the best decision for you to prepare for this fight?
I worked with Volk and his team I went there for a couple of weeks before my previous fight, and then it was just really beneficial. So then got the opportunity to go there again. Obviously, watching Volk, multiple time world champion, preparing for yet another 5-round title fight. It was just easy to go watch him prepare and just learn some stuff from him. Such an incredible champion, just to see how he handles training for those big fights was really beneficial.
And then to watch him go on and win the title, because obviously when you both first started the camp, you both got the same goal of fighting for a UFC title, and then to see him go on and do it, how much motivation does that give you?
Yeah, it was inspiring, especially just the way everyone was sort of counting him out, saying that no one at his age has won the belt, etc. But him just to be able to go do what he did, it was really inspiring. Just showed that anything's possible and anyone can win on the sport. It's just a matter of game planning correctly and then just making it happen in the moment. Exciting time for our nations in this sport.
Absolutely. I was down at a local watching the fight here in Auckland, and there was quite the crowd there cheering you on. And then hearing that announcement, the place just blew up. So, it really does mean a lot to this region and, to New Zealand as well. Like what this is doing for, the sport here on this side of the world, because I know for the longest time there's been this battle to mainstream the sport on this side of the world. And now you're one of the trailblazers helping that to happen. There is.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. It's cool for, I guess, yeah, just the young. Like, I remember looking up to Robert Whittaker when I was young, watching him win the world title. And just sort of, I guess he paved the way, made it more believable that I obviously always wanted to become a world champion, but then seeing someone like him do it, it made it more real to be able to make it happen. Then seeing Volk do it, it even just solidified it even more that anyone can do it. So yeah, hopefully I can inspire the younger generation for them to work hard, believe in themselves, and hopefully, yeah, there's a lot more champions coming behind me.
Well, there is a little rumor that the promotion is going back to Perth at some point for 2025. So hopefully we'll see more of the local boys on there as well.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. There's a lot of Perth guys at the moment. And then also, yeah, obviously Kai Kara France is getting the title fight. I think that was just announced. So, yeah, he's obviously got all the skills to make it happen. So hopefully I believe he'll get it done and we'll get another one in the region, which is incredible.
What the heck, eh? What's going on? This is awesome.
We're taking over one at a time.
Absolutely. And I feel like we've got Carlos Olberg waiting in the wings for his shot as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's exciting. It's a really exciting time. Really make some big things happen at the moment, which is really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And you're an inspiration. Obviously, I talk about you watching Volk. Here's Kai watching you and Volk. So that'll be just the inspiration that he needs. Look, talking about fight announcements, literally just before we get on this call, Dana White pops up on Instagram and talks about Islam Makhachev vacating the lightweight belt. Obviously, to come and meet you in the welterweight is probably the cause there. So your thoughts, your immediate reactions after hearing that news that it's actually confirmed he's moving up?
Yeah, it's exciting. Obviously he's the pound for pound number one guy, so it's the number one fight. So I'm really excited. I welcome the challenge. I believe I can beat him. So excited to get back to the gym, get to work, and start working towards beating Islam Makhachev.
How long do you reckon it will take you? Obviously, you'll need a bit of a break. You've had, a long slog of a camp, and the fight was, pretty up there as well, going a whole 5 rounds.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. A bit bruised from just going the 5 rounds, but I feel like I'm pretty good. I feel like I'm excited. I'm itching to get back in there, defend my belt. So we'll see when the soonest the UFC want to make it happen.
Isn't that crazy? Like, you've worked so hard to get to this point to win the title. Obviously, that's not all the work. Then you have to go on to defend it. But as soon as you get it, you can't even take a breath, and it's who's next, what's next? There's not even really that time to reflect.
Yeah, no, but I'm excited. I really look at this as just the beginning. This is just another step in my legacy, and I really want to rack up title defenses. So I'm looking forward to get the reign beginning and work hard to hang on to my belt with everything I have.
Nice. And what would you make? Obviously, Islam Makhachev has done amazing things in the UFC as the lightweight champion and, the lineage he comes from, obviously with Khabib. So what do you think this challenge entails? You've obviously would have been giving this a little bit of thought already.
Yeah, obviously his grappling is some of the best we've seen. So I've got to be extremely prepared. But I believe I've got the skills to beat him. So it is obviously I'm going to have to work extremely hard. We're going to have to really think about the best route to victory. But my team fully believe that we've got the skills to beat Makhachev, and I'm really excited to take on the challenge.
Nice. Well, before I let you go, I just wanted to talk about that because obviously you had a great game plan against, in the title fight you just had. So how did that feel for you? Well, against Belal Muhammad, I know that you've fought in the UFC, undefeated, but you've never gone, deep into a 5th round before. felt like you were still finding your groove even in that final round.
Yeah, I felt good. The gas tank wasn't an issue.
Mm.
I feel like we had the right game plan, just to really stick and move. Don't stand in front of him. But he's the sort of guy that really walks forward. So I just knew I had to try and meet him in the middle. And if he did start pushing me up against the cage, I had to really use my footwork to get back to the middle, get off the cage. But I think it was good. I think it was the perfect game plan to beating Belal. We discussed what we thought we needed to do, and I feel like I executed the right game plan, and the coaches were happy with my execution of the game plan, and I believe it won us the world title.
How was the occasion as a whole? I know you've walked out to fights many times, crowds cheering, all these sorts of things before, but what was it like to walk out at Montreal to a title fight, the occasion overall?
It was a really insane crowd there. It was a crazy arena. It was absolutely full. I walked out to some, big stadiums before, but it was definitely it was one of the best walkouts I've ever had. There was so much atmosphere. Walking out to a title fight, it felt like any other fight, but it felt special. Something that I remember forever. One of the greatest moments of my life thus far.
After the fight, you go back to the changing sheds. You finally get to sit down and have a chat with the team. What are the conversations like? What does coach say to you?
I mean, he was just so happy, A lot of years of hard work, belief, and sacrifices on both our parts, my part, and then the coaches as well. Obviously, he also told a lot of people that I was going to be a world champion, so I think a lot of relief for him as well. He didn't sound like an idiot saying that and it not coming true, but just proud. Just a real special moment with the team. He was super proud. I was super thankful for all the work they've done. But just something that it's like hard to put into words how that felt winning the pinnacle of the sport.
Yeah, you kind of have to be there, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's hard to even remember the feelings.
Yeah. Well, look, congratulations, mate. You really, really earned it. There was no doubt in our minds down here. We're biased as heck, but we'll take it anyway. But congratulations again. Enjoy this win. I know you're already looking forward, but mate, soak this in as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. All the best.
Yeah, see ya. Thank you.
Well, breaking news, UFC flyweight Kai Kara-France getting his title shot. He has been waiting for so long to have this announcement. It is finally here and he joins us now. You've known for a while, you've demanded this fight for a while and have been preparing for it for a little while now. So talk about the build up to this and perhaps, the start-stops that you've had to endure to finally land on this date.
Yeah, it's just the fight game is not official until it's announced, and you're just going off, word of mouth. And the UFC did say that I'm going to be the next guy in line, but it's just not guaranteed. So I know that this is a part of the fight game. It's just how it goes, and you can't be too emotionally attached to dates and to things, and what's in the pipeline until it's actually happening. And now it's all real. So yeah, just been in kind of not limbo, but just in a building phase since the start of the year, because I knew this was was going to happen. I just didn't know when. So just trying to stay ready, stay in the gym, stay hungry. I wasn't in Vegas for the Warriors game, being part of the coaching staff there. But I wasn't in Saudi Arabia for Izzy's fight or in Sydney for the DDP Strickland fight, just because I didn't want to be distracted. I just wanted to keep my foot on the gas, and that's getting better, upskilling, and just really focusing on what I needed to do, and that was just just staying in the gym. So I'm thankful that I did that, because now 7 weeks to get ready for this fight. I've been ready since the start of this year. It's like 8 weeks out from a fight when I thought it was happening. Eugene would say, hey, I think it's being pushed back, and then I take like a week off of still training, but a week off, high intensity, and then next week I'll be like, sweet, we'll start building again. And it's just been that kind of year. Now 7 weeks out, not much will change in my schedule. I'm focused, and that's a good place to be when there's big fights in front of me. And the guy that I want to test myself against is someone I've shared the octagon with already. Pantoja fought each other 8-9 years ago in the Ultimate Fighter. So lots happened. He's become champ. And I've become one of the main guys in the flyweight division. It's allowed me to mature as a person, as a man, as well as an athlete, and just have a lot more to prove now, and just really believing in it.
He's been knowing that this was going to happen for a while too. When we spoke to him in November before his fight against Kaya Sukura, and I asked him about you, I said, hey, after this fight, would that be a fight that you would want? And he says that he hoped, because he didn't obviously know the result of the Asakura fight. He goes, I hope that I'm still the champion when it's Kai Kara-France's turn to fight, because I want that fight. I want that to be him and I. So talk to us about that, because it feels like, he's had a couple of fights against, the Royvals, the, Morenos. Talk about how this fight is going to perhaps play out, because as you say, you haven't faced him for nearly 10 years.
Yeah. It's been a while. And it's funny how we haven't crossed paths in the UFC. And that's maybe the universe waiting for something like this now, where biggest card of the year, International Fight Week, co-main event on such a big card. It's just going to be fireworks. And I know he's going to be bringing his best, training out of ATT in Miami. And we'll be doing the same at CKB, just, guys constantly getting ready for fights. And I've just been waiting on the sidelines, waiting for my turn, preparing them for their fights and helping as a body for Spider and sparring and all of that. But yeah, full circle, it's nice to, he hasn't had my test in the UFC yet, where I've been a guy around who's always got that in his back pocket to finish a fight whenever. Just have that ability in my toolbox to put people out. That's, I think, what's intriguing for the matchmakers is that you can't count me out. Like, even though on paper or the favorites and all of that, like, I always come in as the underdog, but I welcome that. I welcome being overlooked and slept on. And look at my last fight where everyone thought Usyk was this new contender coming through, just come off a decision loss against Pantoja, could have won, and then I take him out in the first round. Something that it's just aligned. The UFC did tell me there's a few fights in front of me that need to play out, and that was that Taida and Amir Albazi. If they won their fights, they would have been given this title shot. They both lost. And then we're in this weird position in this division where no one had a win in that top 5 besides me. And then the only argument that I had over everyone is I hadn't fought Pantoja in the UFC yet. So that's why it just made sense for me to be the next guy.
What an amazing position our region is in at the moment when we look at our Australian, New Zealand fighters. 3 title fights back to back, basically. It's never been done before. And here you are in a position and you're able to draw inspiration from the success that's happening around you.
No, 100%. Seeing Alex go do what he did and just come back from his adversity on losing, twice, and then having a bit of time off, and a lot of questions that he had to answer, and his age a factor, is his durability, is just time away from the octagon not going to help him, but he just proved them all wrong. So I take a lot of inspiration from him. Especially being a father and having all those responsibilities to take care of outside of fighting. It's so much harder when you're at the top and staying at the top. Seeing Izzy do it for years. So yeah, having him, Alex, do what he did and bring another belt back to Oz and back to CKB, even though he's based in Australia, but he's one of our brothers. And then seeing Jack do what he did in the weekend, got so much talent, and his hands and his IQ is so high level, and I think he's going to hold that belt for a long time. If Islam goes up, I don't think he's taking it off Jack. I feel like he's going to be too big, and his boxing's going to be too sharp. He helped Alex in his camp for Islam, so I'm guessing they'll definitely be doing the same for Jack's fight when that fight does happen. Everyone doing so well and everyone getting their belt, but it's time to get my belt. Making that promise to myself that I made, when I first started the sport. Why am I doing it? Why am I here? Why am I putting so much work into this? And it's to be a world champion. So I've got a dream and a goal to fulfill, and that's on my mind.
Look, we look down the card for International Fight Weekend. We see that Roy Val and Manel Kape are down there as well. Are you suspecting that perhaps if or when you win this title, that the winner of that fight might be the next opponent? Is that why they're setting that up?
100%. You can see it happening. You can see what they're trying to do. I can see myself winning by devastating knockout, and then I could see probably, I don't know, I kind of want Manel to win just so I can shut him up. He needs some humble pie, and it's definitely going to be a massive fight. But he's got a tough task in front of him. Brandon Roval, he's good. He's been one of the best guys in our division, beaten everyone, beaten myself. But also he's lost to the champ twice, so he's in a tough spot because he's fighting all these guys that are coming through, but he hasn't beaten the champ yet. So obviously not looking past Pantoja, and that's the fight that I'm just focusing on. But there's definitely exciting fights in the pipelines for this flyweight division. So the fans are definitely in for a treat. Regardless of who wins, I just hope Manel gets a hiding.
All on one card. How good.
Yeah.
Look, before I let you go, Kai, I just wanted to ask, have you been able to take a bit of reflection about the magnitude of this fight, being our first ever, New Zealand born, raised, coming out of a New Zealand gym and fighting for a title? No one else has ever done that before. I mean, not even compete, let alone win the title. Have you been able to take on the reflection that you're going to be a part of this MMA history forever?
Yeah, I do, have times where I reflect on how far I've come and where I'm at in my life. And I think it definitely gives you a lot of comfort to know that, you can, be proud of yourself and be proud of how far you've come, but also what the ceiling is. And there's no limits. There's no limitations you can put on yourself because it's all out there. And I want that to be an inspiration for the our rangatahi and our up-and-comers and the next generation to dream big, and whatever that is your vehicle and your passion is, just go after it. Because I'm just a Māori boy from Aotearoa, New Zealand, just doing it big on the world stage, but I've never forgotten where I've come from and my roots, and that's my anchor, being Māori and being able to do this, the modern day version of what my tupuna would have done. That's my superpower. That's what fuels me. I'm fueled off mana, and I'm fueled off, my bloodline that have come before me. I guess calmness and release, and I'm allowed to be toe with what's to come, toe in the chaos, and ready to welcome it and surrender to it. And I can't wait.
Toe in the chaos. I like that. I'm going to use that.
You can have it.
That's a good one. Oh, Kai, kia kaha, kia maia, kia manawa nui for the rest of your camp. And I'm sure we'll catch up again, shortly. But exciting news, and congratulations again. You really deserve this.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your time and your support. Much love.
Nā mihi kia Jack, Rawa, ko Kai and whānau. The action doesn't stop there. We have welterweights back in the cage this weekend for UFC Fight Night. Gilbert Burns up against Michael Morales. You can catch all of that on ESPN on Sunday afternoon from 2 p.m. as always. Thank you for joining me. Hei ko nā mai.